Hi, my name is Casey with ADRENALIN Trucks, here to show you our new F550 build. We want to get you into some of the details and the nitty-gritty on some of the components that we chose and the features. So starting at the front here, we have a nice big beefy buck stop bumper. This thing will take the abuse you throw at it. A brush guard, grill guard for pushing branches and trees, whatever you're getting into. And then we've got a full rigid lights package. 4 high power amber or white rigid lights on the bottom, light bar on the grill, and then 2 light bars up on top. Hidden inside this bumper, we've got one of the biggest Warn winches you can buy. It's a 16,500 pound TI winch. This truck's a big heavy truck. You need a big winch to pull yourself out or to pull somebody else out that needs help along the way. One of the coolest parts of our truck is the suspension we chose for it. It's liquid spring suspension. It's fully hydraulic. It's smarter than most suspensions out there, especially for a truck this size. The way that it works, there's a single strut at each corner. It's full of silicone, and that silicone's compressible. And silicone goes down to a volume chamber that's a variable volume chamber down here that's got a small volume and a large volume. And it also will self-level at campsites. So you pull into a campsite that's off camber, you don't have to worry about leveling your truck. Hit a button, it's going to self-level within the range of the suspension. This suspension is designed for heavy trucks off-road. They use this in ambulances and lots of other logging industry, you know, big trucks that are taking a beating. This is an awesome suspension. We went with a Continental MPT tire. They're a load range N. They're one of the higher load range tires you can get in this size, and you want that for a truck this big. It's going to take the abuse and the heat going down the road. We can cruise down the road at almost 75, 80 miles an hour and not have to worry about tire heat and those tires warming up on you. Let me show you some of the cab. Show you some of the features inside there, why we chose it, what we did, and it's awesome. Let's go check it out. We chose the F550 chassis mostly because the liquid spring suspension is available for it, and it's been around the longest on the Ford, and tried and tested, and really shows its true grit on this Ford. We have a couple options for this Ford. This truck is the 6.7 diesel. Diesel's great for the size of the truck. It's also great if you're wanting to tow. We also offer this in the gas. It's a 7.3 gas, which is going to be great if you're going to want to go south of the border, take this into other parts of the world and not have to worry about emissions and have to worry about different fuel qualities down there. They both have a 10-speed transmission. They're both going to be really comparable fuel economy. In the truck, the diesel is going to get a little better fuel economy if you're pulling. But they're both a great choice and both a solid chassis to build off of. So with the liquid spring suspension, we have 5 ride height settings. There's normal, medium, low, and low, and there's normal, medium, low, and high, medium, high, and high. That's basically 10 inches full travel, 5 inches down, 5 inches up. That's going to be so if you need to get in a garage or need to go under some brush or trees, you can tuck down 5 inches and get under something. Also the other way, if you've got an obstacle you're trying to get over, you got +5 to work your way over something if you're needing to get over something. The 3 comfort settings are comfort, normal, and sport. And that's really going to give you good control going down the road, going down the highway and down the trail. You're on a rough road, you're definitely going to want that in a comfort setting, just because it's going to just eat all the bumps in the road. Sport mode is going to be a firmer setting for going down the road, going down a windy canyon road, taking curves and corners. It's going to take some of that body roll out and just make it handle a lot better. Before we jump in the back, let me show you these steps quick. They're AMP Power Step XLs. Definitely a must for a truck this size. Just helps you get in and out. Also gives us some good armor, body protection for all the off-road adventures. So in the back here, we have, again, leather seats in the rear. These rear seats are heated, and the seats fold up, obviously, as most trucks do. We got under seat storage, and then both seats, a split 60-40 seat. Both seats will fold, and this right passenger side will actually fold down and give you more storage on this passenger side here. We do have an option for a pass-through for those that want to do a camper access into your cab. There's a couple ways to do it. We have in the pass-through in the middle here. If we do a pass-through in the middle, you lose your bench seat in the back. We'll do 2 captain's chairs and have a captain's chair on each side, and then your camper access is going to be in the middle here. We've also talked about a pass-through on this passenger side behind this rear seat to try to be able to maintain 3 seats in the back. This is going to be a smaller pass-through option, but it's definitely something that if somebody wants, we can make that work and do that as well. On this truck, we chose not to do a pass-through. I had the back seat out. I had it ready. I had tape on the back wall ready to cut it. And one of the reasons we chose not to on this truck is we feel that most people won't want one. There are going to be some road noise. There's going to be all your dishes rattling back there that you're going to have to deal with. You also get a lot of heat transfer, both your heat and your cooling transfer between your cab and your box. On this truck, we chose not to do a pass-through, but we can do it if somebody wants one. So as you can see here, there's plenty of room back here for 3 full-size adults or large dogs. So a lot of people camp with their dogs. We've got AC power in the back of the console, and you know, not much you don't need and everything you do. Let's head back to the back there, and I'll show you some of the features of the living space we've got in the back. So our living space is all aluminum construction. We have 2x4 heavy wall frame that's sitting on top of our truck frame. On top of that, we have I-beam, that's our main floor structure, and then our walls are made out of a formed Z channel. And that Z channel is multi-purpose. It's mostly so that we can get our insulation in there touching as close as we can and have no air gaps. So this is insulated as well as we can for the extreme colds and extreme heats. We put some heavy aluminum armor. You see our roof caps and our corner caps are thicker aluminum. That's 125 aluminum. That's gonna take a tree branch a lot better than aluminum skin. The nice thing with this aluminum skin is it's replaceable, it's serviceable. If you take a tree branch to the side here, we can pull a panel and you can replace it, and it's a little more maintainable than some of these other campers out there. We chose Arctic Turn windows. They're a poly window. They're really nice window. They've got an inner skin and an outer skin, so they're well insulated. We have outdoor speakers, all tie into our indoor speakers as well. We've got a 6-channel amplifier and a 6-zone controller on the radio that you can turn the outside speakers on separately from the inside, so you can control if you don't want to hear it outside or inside or vice versa. We'd use a Dometic powered awning. This awning comes out quite a ways and gives you a nice good shade underneath it here. It's also got a wind sensor on it, so if you leave it or if you forget to roll it in while you're away, that wind sensor is going to notice that and suck itself back in and save so it doesn't get damaged in the wind. We've got a pull-out cooker in this compartment. This is awesome to be able to just roll your cooker out and set your stove on there and cook away. And when you're done, you just roll it back in. Above the cooktop, we have garage access. This is accessible from both sides, and you'll see that it goes through from both sides as well. But yeah, inside here, we've got plenty of room for camp chairs, cookers, propane. So inside our garage here, you can see our woofer for our 6-channel stereo system. The amplifier is right here. Tucked in this corner is the reservoir for our L-Well diesel-fired heating system. This is a glycol coolant system where it heats up that glycol, and that glycol is pumped through a heat exchanger for the hot water for your shower, but also through some radiators that heat the cabin. In the back here, we have our outside 110 volt. So if you have any outdoor accessories that you need to power while you're camping, right there and easy to use. Yeah, let's close these up and we'll head around back and show you the back and the other side here. On the back of the truck here, you can see we have the same armor roof caps we have on the front. That's going to give you good protection from backing into branches of trees or even brushing along them. You can see from the side it's continuous corner cap all the way from the front to the back. We also have the same rigid lights on the back. They're up as high as we can and they're angled down to give us a better scene lighting. Those backlights, those scene lights also have a blue backlight to them to give you kind of a cool accent, a glow at night camping. We do have a nice big beefy buck stop bumper and spare tire mount. We have rigid flush mount backup lights. They come on when you put it in reverse just to give you the best lighting while you're backing up as possible. And then a nice big beefy hitch for towing heavy things. Okay, underneath the back here we have the spine of the truck. We've lengthened this frame about 36 inches just to get more camping and living space. The way that's done is a rear solid frame structure has been welded and then bolted to the factory frame. We bolted it to the factory frame so that factory frame can still flex and twist as it needs to, and it's just got a bunch of bolts down both sides to make it solid and keep it solid. Underneath the back here you can see an AC condenser. That's for the air conditioning system. That's 12 volt. And then also up inside here is our diesel burner for the heating system, and then our factory fuel tank. That's a 36-gallon fuel tank. On the passenger side here we have more rear storage. This is also where our fuel filler is. We got tons of space for all your all your camping gear. In this box we have tools, a tow strap, lots of stuff you need. The rear driver's side garage, again, we have access all the way through from both sides. In the front of this garage is our AC and DC distribution panel. It's pretty nice. If you blow a fuse, it will light up and tell you which fuse is blown, and then just your AC breakers. On the back side here, we have our outdoor shower controls with the quick disconnect outdoor shower connection. So our diesel-fired hot water system is almost on demand. It takes it a few minutes to get the diesel burner going. Once that burner's going, you have a constant supply of hot water. There's no hot water tank to heat up, no volume of hot water that you need to heat up. It's pretty instant. So. Okay, closing these, we'll move forward. There's not much on this side. We'll show you our shore city water connection. If you're camping into a campsite that has a water supply, you can plug right in and not have to pull from your tank or run the pump. Just have hot water supply. This is our shore AC connection, 30 amp. And then our cassette toilet. We chose the cassette toilet mostly because it's convenient. If somebody wants extra cassettes, there's 7 gallons of black storage. If somebody wants extra, we can make a space to store extras there. On this side, we try to keep all the weight between the axles, just so because you want to maintain front axle weight going down the road. So our gray tank is right here. It's 45 gallons of gray water between the axles. So as that fills up, you're adding weight to the front. This is a great view of the rear suspension components. This is a big, the suspension is a beefy suspension system, and it's designed for a heavy truck. We're actually on the lower end of that scale. We're using the medium struts. There's a set of struts heavier than these, but we debated going to the smaller struts. We want to leave some capacity for accessories and for gear that you're taking with you. On the roof, we've got 1100 watts of ZAMP solar. We chose a ZAMP panel. They have a new Obsidian line that's really thin, really sleek. They've got a couple different sizes, and they're just able to help us to configure as much panel space up there, as much space as we needed for all the panels that we wanted. We wanted to maximize our solar and still have a little bit of usable space up there that you can go out and hang out and put a lawn chair up on the roof and watch the sunset from the roof. Moving on to the side here, our fresh tank is on this side, again between the axles. We need to keep our weight on that front axle as we're adding gear to the back. We have 65 gallons of fresh, and the stairs are actually built right into the stainless steel freshwater tank, and they're power steps that come down, as you open and close the door. That's all built, integrated into that tank. That tank tucks right up in there and uses every square inch we can to maximize water volume. Okay, coming right up the stairs here, we have a nice handrail. Just helps people get in and out if they're having a hard time with their steps. This is our main lighting control, electrical control center for a lot of the lights in the water pump, tank heaters, things like that. So this is a Switch Pro 12 switch controller. We have all of our interior lights, all of our exterior lights, our water pump, our radio, our tank heaters are on this. One of the coolest things about this is they have an app for your phone or an iPad. You can have a phone or a tablet mounted anywhere that you can have the same controls to be able to turn lights on and off from anywhere. Built into this controller is the ability to dim. You push and hold, you have 2 stages of dimming that all of the lights are dimmable. So if you don't want full blast on your porch, you can turn the porch down. So yeah, that's one of the cool things, that if there are issues electrically and you got a circuit that's shorted, it'll try to turn that circuit on, but it'll blink and tell you that this circuit is shorted. Instead of just shut down and not work or blow a fuse, it's going to tell you that it's not working. So this switch on the left is for the steps. That's mostly for if you're camping a long time, you don't want those steps coming in and out. You push that switch in the on position, it leaves those steps out in the out position while you're camping. As you're closing and open the doors, they don't open and close every time. Okay, starting here in the kitchen, we have a nice big kitchen work area here. We do most RVs have just a really small unusable sink, so we wanted a nice big sink. My wife wanted a nice big sink. She's the one that kind of pushed for this, which it's great to have a nice big area to clean your Dutch oven. Bring a Dutch oven in, have a sink, you can fit that Dutch oven in and clean it out inside if you want to. We use a quartz countertop. Some of our previous builds, we used a kind of a butcher block wood. This is it's nicer, but it's about the same weight. It's not much heavier. Weight is a big consideration in everything we do in here. We use a dual induction cooktop as our cook surface inside. Nice to have two spaces to cook from instead of just the one. And then down below their cooktop, we have a convection microwave cooker. Below there, so some of our pots and pan storage. A lot of our cabinetry comes from our race trailer background, where we got guys throwing heavy tools and mechanics beating on them all day. So we use a heavy stainless hinge that will take the abuse, take the rattling and the bumping going down the road, nice big heavy latches, and a gas shock to hold it open. We have motion lights in our cabinets that as soon as you open them or you stick your hand in there, they light up and show you what's inside there to help you find what you're looking for. As much aluminum as we can to save on weight, and then wood in a few places where we need the structure. So now that we're inside, I'll show you more of these windows. These are turn Overland windows. They're really nice and well insulated. So slide this open, you can see we got a dual pane, an inside and an outside pane of window that's very well insulated. It's also really light. And then on the inside here, we got our screen and sunshade. You shut all these sunshades down, you can black this thing out in the middle of the day. It's really nice to be able to keep it dark if you don't want to be woke up at 6 o'clock with the sun when you're camping. The latches on these windows are a dual latching design, where you pull it all the way in and latch it. It's latched and sealed, but it's got a second latching position where you can latch it, secure it, but still have enough room for an air gap and some ventilation. This is our rear living area, dining room, also the rear bed. This is in the bed stage, it's a full-size queen bed. This table will slide forward, the table folds out and then drops down all the way down to our sleeping area, so that we can have our queen bed in the back. We use a high-density foam, a dual-density foam cushion. There's 2 inches of higher density and 2 inches of softer density, so you can have a softer feel but not sink all the way through to the bottom. It's really great for sitting and even better for sleeping. And then we use a heavy denier cover on these cushions. It's nice, it breathes, not gonna stick to you when you're camping and sleeping. So on the other side in the back here, we have more overhead storage, same cabinets, same motion lights inside there. And then we have a TV mounted to the back side of the fridge area here that's on a pull-out mount, so that if you want to hang out here, watch a movie, lay down, watch a movie, you've got a TV back here you can enjoy. On the tops for cabinets, we do just an accent lighting. These lights can change any color. They also adjust the brightness and dimness. They've got different flashing modes and patterns, but just adds some cool effect. Overhead in the back here, we have a Dometic rooftop fan, pushes or pulls. It's really nice to be able to close everything down. When I've camped with my family, I close everything down and I crack that roof hatch in the front and just put it on a nice slow speed. It will actually pull and do a nice cross flow all the way through. Or if you don't need air up there, you can open and close windows in the back and pull a bunch of fresh air or exhaust the other way. It's really nice just to keep air moving. So here above our fridge, we have our control center. Let's just start at the top here. I'll show you our radio. So our radio is controlled via our Switch Pro over that I showed you earlier. You can turn that on and off from the Switch Pro or on and off from your phone. This is a Bluetooth radio, has 3-zone control. Our 3 zones on this one are our inside speakers, which we have 4 speakers inside, 2 over the back area, 2 kind of over the front area, and 2 outside. And then we have a woofer on the other zone as well. So you can control all those zones separately or together, just to turn everything up and everything down all at once. That's nice to be able to Bluetooth that. You can change songs from wherever your phone is, wherever your Bluetooth source is. Just below this is our diesel-fired L-well heater controller. From here, you're able to turn hot water on if you're just needing hot water for a shower or for washing a pot. You're also your thermostat control, where if you're needing to heat your cabin, you're able to set a temperature and it'll control that temperature. So I'll talk about our electrical system here. We chose Victron for our electrical system. It's a pretty advanced and pretty smart system. So all the main components are Victron. We have a Victron 3000 watt inverter charger shoved under the counter there. We have a Victron MPPT solar controller. And then there's a Victron Servo Brain up inside this cabinet that just everything talks to and everything is controlled through this controller here. It's really smart, really advanced. It's able to scale and graph all your battery voltages, solar voltages, and you're able to monitor all that remotely. They've got an app for your phone that you can log in from a remote location and actually check and monitor and see what's going on with the electrical system at any point in time, as long as it's connected to the internet, or it's got a cellular adapter if you want to be able to monitor that up in the mountains as well. So this system is really advanced and unique in how it works. On the screen here, It's pretty basic and information that you need. So on the right side, we see our tank status. We have a freshwater tank, which is 52% full right now, and then our gray water tank. On the bottom here is our AC controllers. This is how we turn our inverter on. If you want 110 volts on any of the outlets, or if you just want to charge off of your Shore connection, this will charge the batteries off of that Shore 30 amps plug that I showed you on the outside. Over in the bottom left is our AC current limiter. This limits how much current is going to be pulled from a Shore connection. So if you're on a small generator or even a long extension cord from a house that you can't pull a bunch of current from, you can turn that down so you don't cook any circuits or overwork an extension cord. That's really cool to be able to do that. On this left side here is giving us our status of our AC and our DC system. So the top left is going to be the AC loads that are currently being pulled. In the middle in the green here is our current solar input. We're in a shop, so we're not getting much, but it's still getting a little bit of solar from our solar system. And then our bottom left is the actual DC system that is being pulled or charged at the current status. So currently we're pulling about 70 watts from the battery. If we were charging, let's say 70 watts to the battery. And then in the middle here is just kind of a master battery capacity, 50% charge, how much we're discharging, current voltage, and current amperage that it's discharging as well. And then in the middle here is just if there's any alarms or error warnings, it's going to tell you what those error warnings are there. Attached to this Victron system, we have two big lithium batteries. They're Expion 360s. They're 360 amp hours each, giving you a total of 720 amp hours of lithium battery, which is a ton of battery. We've got those as far forward as we can underneath the cabinet here, kind of in front of the fridge, just for weight, but also just to keep them out of the elements and keep them inside where they're warm. Lithium doesn't like to be cold, and so if we're able to keep those inside, we don't have to worry about cold weather charging or any of that kind of stuff. So, just to the right of our electrical control center is our air conditioner controller. We chose a Cruise and Comfort 12-volt air conditioner. It's actually the main compressor and evaporator is mounted just behind the cabinet here. That's the brains of the operation. We chose Cruise and Comfort because they're a really efficient system. It only pulls around 800 watts, and we're able to maintain and keep up with that most of the time depending on your solar, with the solar panels we have on top. And that's super important to keep that balanced. You don't want to put a really heavy AC system in here that's going to drain your batteries in 3 or 4 hours. And this is just enough AC that it's going to keep up with you in those hot temperatures and be able to keep up with the solar demand. So this is a smart thermostat, Wi-Fi controlled. You'll be able to control that from a phone, and then just a fan speed controller below it here. It's ducted behind this cabinet, ducted to the back and ducted to the front, so you can have it cool air blowing both sleeping areas, which is the most important place to have it. Moving down to our fridge, we use a nice big Dometic fridge. This is a 12-volt fridge, 12-volt only. It pulls off the 12-volt system. You don't have to worry about propane fridge or that kind of stuff. It's just simple. You turn it on, turn it off, and it pulls from the batteries. Got a nice big freezer overhead, and then a nice big fridge below with tons of room for long-term camping and long-term living offshore. Just to the right of our fridge here is our main closet. We wanted a versatile system so that different people are going to want to store their stuff differently. We want to just kind of leave it open a little bit to how they want to do it. So to the right, we have our main hanger. You're always going to need to hang something, whether it be coats, shirts, ties, suits, even wetsuits if you're the swimming adventures. So to the left here is kind of a versatile cabinet storage system. We don't want to have to camp with suitcases, so you'll be able to pull storage totes or containers or crates outside here that are your luggage compartments, rather than having drawers that things get lost in. And if you're wanting a full open storage, we can pull all these out and have more coat hanging here. You want to keep it kind of versatile and open. And below that is, I use this for a pantry, but it's more storage. Just a nice big area for water, food, any of the other necessities you need. Below this is the batteries and inverter. This is also your master shut-off switch. You shut the whole system down with this master kill switch here. This area is pretty full. You're not going to need to access it much, but that's just, we try to utilize every square inch of this space we have. Okay, let me show you our bathroom. Standing here with the bathroom door open. It's a nice big, we call it a wet bath. It's kind of a toilet shower combo. Everything there's kind of designed to get wet. Nice big space, very usable. Light switches on the outside, so as you climb in here, you can see I'm a I'm 5'10", normal sized guy, and there's tons of room in here. We got shower on the right hand side, some hooks on the back side, and then our cassette, or Dometic cassette toilet here. And then a rooftop vent to pull and push fresh air as you need it as well out of the bathroom. We use a nice shower head. This is a removable wand. You can, remove it and wand yourself, but it's a temperature setting where you can just set it to a temperature. And most of the time when I'm showering, I can just leave it at one setting and not have to change it at all. A lot of our RVs, you're always fighting and fussing with too hot, too cold, or whatever. So it's just nice to be able to set it and leave it. And then we've got different water flow speeds. You can, if you wanted a ton of water, you can turn it on a ton. If you're trying to conserve, you can turn it down nice and low as well. So really nice to be able to do that. And then a nice shower pan in here that all the water drains to one central point in the end here that just keeps everything nice and dry. Okay, coming up into our king suite, we've got some steps just to make it a little easier to access for littles and for the bigs. There's storage down inside both of those. We found that lower one's a great laundry hamper, but people can use it for whatever. On our king bed, we wanted a versatile sleeping area where you could sleep any direction you wanted. We kind of designed it with your heads towards that end as the main way of sleeping though. With that in mind, we have reading lamps on both sides in that front. They're LED. They have a white light that's got 3 different brightnesses, and also a red light for if you're wanting to read late at night or just have a nice soft light at night. There's a 12-volt cigarette lighter style plug up there on both sides, and then 2 USBs for charging electronic devices as well. There's 3 windows, 2 on the sides and 1 on the front. The same turn windows we've got on the rest of the camper, that blackout shades, different position hatches, and then our turn Overland roof hatch. That has a screen on the inside of it, similar to our windows, where it will pull over and be a sunshade or a bug screen as well. And it's powered. The hatch will raise all the way open. And it's kind of nice to be able to sleep there and look up the stars and just enjoy your moonlight. There is a TV mounted against this side of the sleeping area, so as you're sleeping in bed with your heads at that end, you can watch a show at night if you want. So this concludes our F550 overview, and this is a more technical, in-depth walkthrough. We're hoping this answered more of your questions about why we chose the components we did, and also shows our experience and where we came from and why we chose some of the components that we did. And we really hope this gives you more confidence in the decision you've made to look at our trucks and to choose to be part of our ADRENALIN family.